You've seen good doctors, you've seen bad, but I bet you've never seen a doctor that does this. Someone left this business card at the crash site. Looks like there's a new squirrel in the insurance game. I don't care about that, Dr. Hartmann. Tell me what's wrong with my husband. I'm about to put this doctor away for a long time. These are the many crimes of the Dr. Hartmann, starting with when Peter goes for a general checkup in The Fat Guy Strangler. So, doctor, is Peter healthy? My goodness, you'll be dead within a month. Right? Go, Hagar the Horrible. If you keep up that lifestyle of pillaging and giant turkey legs, you'll be dead within a month. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's just chalk this one down to a misunderstanding. Joe, what do you think? Pretty healthy, eh? Well, Mr. Griffin, let's take a look at your physical result. Ah! There's a spider in here. Now, here we go. Mr. Griffin, you're going to expire in a month. Oh, come on. He's got to be doing that on purpose. We're not even at the worst of it yet. Basinger? But now, on to the cancer. Oh my god. You are a cancer, right? You were born in July? Now, on to these test results. My, they're much worse than I thought. My son got a D- on his history test. Peter ended up being fine, but joking about the big C to a patient is not good medical practice. Peter and Lois were put through the emotional ringer there. The crazy thing is, this isn't the first time he's pulled a stunt like this. Like, remember his season 2 debut where he did this? Your test results are in. This doesn't look very good. Oh, this doesn't look very good at all. My nephew drew my portrait. It doesn't look a thing like me. Look at the nose. It's old. Well, you just tell us about Peter's test. I guess you can say he hasn't changed. But without a doubt, his worst slip of the tongue came in the episode Ocean's 3.5, where Bonnie finally gives birth. All right, Mrs. Swanson, you're doing fine. Hey, Peter, don't you want to watch this? It's a beautiful miracle of nature. I can't look. I didn't look when Lois gave birth, and I can't look now. You could just tell me what it looks like. Yeah, totally intentional. You can't mess up that many times and it not be on purpose. Well, luckily, there's a charge for that. It's called intentional infliction of emotional distress, or IIED for short. Wonderful acronym. There's usually no prison time served for this sort of charge, but Hartmann will have to fork out at least 80 grand in damages to his patients, and that's only going off the few examples we saw here. Imagine what goes on behind closed doors. The second crime on Dr. Hartmann's medical rap sheet brings us to the episode And Then There's Fraud, where Stewie becomes a little self-conscious of his age. Hi, 3 adults and 1 infant, please? Nice try, lady. That kid's at least 3. What? That's insane. Brian, do I look old to you? You look fine. Because of the hit to his ego, Stewie then becomes obsessed with staying youthful, turning to plastic surgery to try and keep his mid-toddler era away. No. Stewie, what the hell did you do to yourself? Nothing, almost nothing. Just a little Botox, a little filler, maybe some strings. His new look is a hit with all the moms in the neighborhood, but that's not as good as you think it is, because now he wants to look even younger. And I'd prepare yourself for this next clip. What happened to your face? Stewie? Hello? Who's there? Sorry, Brian, my eyes don't close when I sleep, and I'm blind for a few seconds when I first wake up. Besides looking like Joan Rivers if her face turned inside out, Stewie's big problem is the picture day is coming up in a few days, and the little guy just wants a normal picture now, so there's only one man in Quahog who can help. He needs you to help fix his face. Oh, absolutely, I can do that. Is it a simple procedure? Oh, sure. We just break every bone in his face and then smush him back into position. Okay, I'm a little less confident now, but come on, Hartmann's a doc, right? He knows what he's doing. Dr. Hartmann, where'd you get your medical degree from? I went to BU. You know our fight song, right? Toy, 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 toy. Hackers can't be choosers, I guess. So Stewie goes through with the plastic surgery, but one big question is left unanswered. Will he be okay for picture day? 1, 2, 3. No, he won't. There's a reason why normal MDs aren't plastic surgeons, especially not MDs from BU University. Even consulting Stewie at all without an adult present is bad, but putting him under the knife for plastic surgery? Come on, Doc. You've broken every medical rule in the book here. But worse, you've broken the law. Right off the bat, we got Dr. Hartmann on a child endangerment charge. The guy performed surgery on an unsupervised kid, and it wasn't even successful, to say the least. If this happened in the real world, Hartmann could kiss goodbye to his medical license and freedom, because this is going to put him away for 3 years at minimum. Oh yeah, and the fines wouldn't be cheap either. I could easily see Stewie scooping up $350,000 in damages for this, and we all know what Stewie's like when someone owes him cash. Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man? Dr. Hartmann's next crime brings us to the episode of Brokeback Swanson, where Peter and the guys have the stupid idea of competing in this year's bull run. Ah, I shouldn't have worn high heels. Stop it, you look great. Besides the herd of angry, stampeding, one-ton animals, the big danger here is Joe. He hasn't got the legs to keep up with the rest of the guys, and when a bit of debris makes its way into his path, things take a tumble. You already know what happens next. The bull uses his horn to spear through Joe's spine, rendering all of his limbs completely useless. He's rushed to the hospital to be put under the care of Dr. Hartmann, and although the doc opens his back up to take a look, he says there's nothing he can do. Well, Mr. Swanson, I did an exploratory procedure which revealed extensive damage. Please just tell me, am I completely paralyzed? And yes, Mr. Swanson has lost all movement and will require around-the-clock care, most of it disgusting. So with the doctor's orders, Joe is sent to a special state home to be given round-the-clock care. It's not really homely, but I guess it's cheap, so it'll do. And it does have that one flew over feel to it. Hi, I work here. I don't think this guy works here. Hi, can I help you? Yeah, this is Joe Swanson. We arranged for a 9:15 dump-off. The guild starts to eat away at Peter Quagmire in Cleveland, though, so they decide to head back to the care home to pick their friend up. What are you guys doing here? We came to bring you home, Joe. We're all really sorry we abandoned you. Yeah, we just kind of got overwhelmed and all freaked out. But we're your friends, Joe, and we'll always be there for you no matter what. Before Joe can be let go, though, the home needs to get a release from Dr. Hartmann, so Peter gives him a quick call. What's that ringing? Joe, that ringing, it's coming from your back. You're not wrong, Cleveland. Remember that little operation Hartmann performed on Joe to give his spine a once-over? Turns out he left his cell phone in Joe's back. No wonder he can't move his arms and legs. Dr. Hartmann must have dropped his phone in Joe when he was looking at his spine. I've been hearing that ringing all week. I just thought I was losing my mind from lunatics screaming in my face. Your mother's up! So he goes elsewhere, gets the cell removed, and regains the use of his arms. It's so great to have you back, Joe. You seem good as new. Yeah, it turns out Dr. Hartmann's cell phone was pressing onto my spinal cord, and that's what was causing my total paralysis. Yeah, sorry we dropped the ball for a while. Which is the way we agreed we'd describe what we did to you, which hopefully makes it seem less heinous. Man, this one's pretty serious for Hartmann, I gotta say. Yeah, it's a little worse than your usual malpractice charge. For me, this strays just straight into criminal negligence. Having the total incompetence to perform invasive surgery on one of your patients and not only holding your cell phone around them, but accidentally dropping it in the frickin' gaping wound. That's without mentioning the injury he just caused to Joe. So for this level of negligence, I can't see Dr. Hartmann getting anything less than 5 years behind bars. And then he'd easily have some serious fines to face. We're talking like $225,000 at least when you take into account other things away from the injury, like hospital and care bills, as well as loss of earnings. Medical malpractice is usually serious business, unless your name is Dr. Elmer Hartmann, in which case it's just really another Tuesday. His most famous scene exhibiting this is probably from the episode Stewie Loves Lois, where he and Peter get their wires crossed when Dr. Hartmann realizes that Peter had never had a prostate exam before. All right, Mr. Griffin, I'm just gonna need you to drop your pants and we'll check your prostate. What? Drop your pants, turn around, and lean forward. Okay. Peter has no idea what that even is, and he's in for a short, sharp shock. What the hell was that? Mr. Griffin, that's a prostate exam. Shut up, you had your finger in my ass. That's how a prostate exam is performed. Now, if you'll just let me, get away from me. For the rest of the episode, Peter tries to take the doc to court assaulting him, but that's not what he should be suing for. The lack of communication and bedside manner is the real crime here, although this is probably a time where for once Hartmann didn't do that much wrong. The same can't be said for the episode From Russia with Love, where Lois meets her old high school bully, sending her into a full-blown panic attack with side effects. We'll just call them side effects. There's a rash forming on the back of your legs. There is? Lois, what the hell's going on with you? I don't know. I think Aunt Stephanie brought back one of my old junior high school panic attacks. After coming down to the strange goblin disease, Lois heads to Hartmann for some advice on what's actually wrong with her. What's happening to me? Well, Mrs. Griffin, I think you're suffering from severe nerd damage. What's that? Is this note for real? Lois shows up to his clinic looking like a stepped-on strawberry. He diagnoses her with severe nerd damage. How do you even treat that? Find the coolest guy in school and give him a tug behind the bleachers. That usually solves it. Does that really work? I don't know. Why don't we go find out? Maybe Peter was right to file that assault charge. It's a malpractice double whammy. Horrendous medical advice and trying to take advantage of a vulnerable patient. How could it get any worse? But what about the time Dr. Hartmann thought it would be a good idea to use dog kidneys in a kidney transplant? Basically, Peter gave himself kidney failure by drinking whatever weird concoction this thing is. Whoa, hang on, you're adding kerosene? Peter, that's insane. That'll destroy your body. Kerosene is fuel, Brian. Red Bull is fuel. Kerosene is Red Bull. I want you to leave me alone while I'm doing my important work. Here, that drink will kill you. Brian, whatever kills me makes me stronger. See, Brian? I feel great. The kerosene really does a number on Peter's system, and he's forced into finding a kidney donor. Problem is, there isn't anyone on the list who matches. Not any human, anyway. What about me? Is that possible, Doctor? Well, I suppose. Stranger things have happened in medicine. Now that's what I call reassurance. Brian ends up being a match, shockingly, but then Hartmann hits the family with some devastating news. Anyway, what is it, Gak? As a dog, Brian's kidneys are smaller and don't have the capacity of a human kidney. For the procedure to work, we would need to transplant 2, but I only have 2. That's right. Giving a patient a choice whether to kill themselves or not for someone they love isn't exactly safeguarding, let alone the fact that he's not even a vet. To be honest, I'm not sure he's even a doctor at this point. The episode does end quite nicely, though. Hartmann realizes he is a match for Peter, so offers one of his kidneys to save the pair. And I'm willing to give up one of my kidneys. Oh my God, Dr. Hartmann, you do that for us? Well, the truth is, you folks are my only remaining patients. I couldn't afford to lose 2 of you. What do you mean 2 of us? So chances are Peter never would have survived the surgery. I mean, dog kidneys? I'm not even sure dogs have kidneys. What? The dogs have kidneys? Yes. As noble as the offer is, he did just admit to basically winging the entire thing. And if he wasn't a match with Peter, it probably would have killed 2 people. The level of medical malpractice here really is just, something else, man. It's usually rare that a doctor is sent to prison for it, but I'm sure they'd make an exception here. Hartmann would be handed a 5-year sentence in Gohog's cold to cell, which is like life in prison for a doctor. And as a chaser, Hartmann would have to stomach fines and damages up to and including $780 grand. Think he'd rather try and stomach Peter's kerosene shake, probably. Let's just say the prognosis ain't looking great for Dr. Hartmann so far. We're only halfway through, and the devious doc has already racked up 13 years behind bars, and hemorrhaging cash as his current set of fines stands at a staggering $1.35 million. The financial bleeding shows no signs of stopping, though, especially with the collection of crimes we got coming up. At least the stuff with Joe is temporary, but what he does to Lois and the LASIK instinct is far more permanent. The episode kicks off with Lois dropping Stewie off at a play date, and when she starts to drive off, she feels a bump in the road. Oh my God, please be a dog. Please be a dog. Yeah, it wasn't a dog. Oh my God, it's a kid. It's Doug. Nice hit. Oh, and Elsa underwear. This day just keeps getting better. Don't worry, Doug's totally fine. His parents are pretty angry, though, and pay a visit to Spooner Street to talk things through with Lois, and they got a proposition for her. Maybe this weekend you can put together a treehouse I don't want to deal with. Fine, if that's what I have to do to make this right, then Peter and my children will build your son's treehouse. Deal. For any of the treehouse stuff, however, Lois is to take an eye exam to make sure she can, still legally drive. Tell me what you see. I see a cow in a lab coat, some vultures in a cowboy hat, and a dog trying to trick a cat into a clothes dryer. Just as I thought. You're far-sighted. With Lois's eyes clearly giving her problems, though, Dr. Hartmann suggests he puts her forward for LASIK, or laser eye surgery, and at first it looks like a success, if you'll pardon the pun. Oh my God, I'm blind! What do you mean you're blind? You can't see me right now? No! But you can still see, like, the stove and laundry, right? I know what you're thinking. These procedures come with a great risk. Maybe Lois's eyes weren't fully compatible, or Hartmann accidentally blinded her with a cat. Okay, maybe you weren't thinking that last one, but that's what happened. How did this happen? Okay, look, this isn't my fault. It was take your cat to work day. What Lois can't see what the dude's saying, right? So with her eyesight gone, she's gonna need all the help she can get from her family now. Well, whatever your wife did for you, you'll now have to do for yourself. And until she gets used to her new life, you'll need to take care of her. Feed her, bathe her, drive her places. Heck on, they left, yes. Well, at least Meg cares about her. Do you need to go poopies? Meg, please stop asking me that. Her sudden blindness has taken its toll on Lois, so she records a video of herself letting it all out. I guess in hopes that it'll connect to someone in her position. I'm sure there's loads of people out there that have lost their vision because their doctor was playing with a cat. I went to the hospital for a simple surgery and woke up in the ICU, but the irony was I couldn't see anyone or anything, even the people closest to me who need to be seen the most. Her words end up inspiring thousands, and all of a sudden, she's the figurehead of a foundation also called ICU. But the thing is, after a while, Lois' eyesight eventually comes back. Now, which one is better, the blue or the green? Wait, how do you know what colors they are? Mom, you can see? She kept up the act, though, to keep the money rolling on in for her foundation, but gets exposed on the Helen DeGeneres show. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. I was blind when I started ICU, but I got my sight back a few days ago. I just wanted to make a difference and maybe get money from sympathetic strangers. She might have gotten her sight back, but I'm not going to turn a blind eye to this Hartmann. Performing a sensitive procedure like LASIK with an animal present is a huge no-no, and actively encouraging the cat with the laser would earn Hartmann a reckless endangerment charge without question. He'd then be slapped with an 8-year stretch, as well as fined around $315,000 for Lois's temporary loss of sight. The stress surrounding it to cover all of her medical bills. He's one lucky quack that her sight came back, by the way. Peter's back in Hartmann's office in the episode Vestigial Peter, as he's noticed a pretty strange lump on his neck. Dr. Hartmann, Peter has a huge lump growing on his neck. Mrs. Griffin, that's called a head. I've been fooled by that one before. He makes Dr. Nick looking an accomplished MD, doesn't he? Well, he does a bit of digging and finds out that Peter's problem isn't the tumor. It's something maybe worse, that there is a great rack, by the way. It appears you have a subcutaneous vestigial twin growing on your neck. Well, it's an incomplete twin that never developed into a fully formed person, but still exists as a growth feeding off your body. Now hold still, I'm just gonna give you a little topical anesthetic and we'll have a closer look. Hi, everybody! Yeah, a smaller version of Peter. Well, technically they're not the same person, they just share a body, but you know what I mean. Thanks to Hartmann, Peter now has a new friend, and he takes him home to show the fam. Kids, remember how when you were little, you always wanted a neck uncle? No? Well, now you got one! This is my vestigial twin. I named him Chip. And at first, Peter gets along with Chip great. Hallelujah! My God, road upon that shore. I know it sounds unlikely, but Peter realizes his body isn't big enough for both him and Chip, especially when Chip wants to do things Peter don't want to do, like this. Do you like crab? There's a knockout crab place right around the corner. The hell are you doing? I'm using my knowledge of the local food scene to get this woman to go to bed with me. Now we know. I can taste what he eats. Peter's out Neville living with the little guy and marches back into Hartmann's office in the hopes that he can get Chip removed. Listen, Doc, is there any way you can have this thing on my neck removed? Oh, Mr. Griffin, your organs and his are intertwined. That would be a highly dangerous procedure. This is where we gotta start getting into the gray area, though. Chip doesn't really want to leave sentient life, and there's a huge chance that Chip dies. I mean, these surgeries are only 60% successful at the best of times, not when you share whole organs, but with Peter's blessings, Hartmann starts the surgery to remove Chip anyway. Nurse, have somebody fix that clock. It's very distracting. All right, let's get this started. And you'll never guess what? Chip survives. Hey, everybody. My crew's rocking. Chip! Oh, Chip, I'm so glad you're okay. Hey, you gotta hand it to Hartmann. I fully expected Chip to come out as a cookie or as a floating head in a tank, but no, he's giving him a full-on body, dude. However, performing surgery on a human without their consent, which has an enormous chance of killing them, cannot be overlooked. Chip isn't a tumor, he's a human, and this would be a violation of his human rights as well as medical battery, earning Hartmann 12 years in Slammer with $185,000 in fines damages. With that type of money, Chip can watch all the tennis in the world. No, it's just a tennis match. So this is tennis. Wow. 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 As you guys have seen, professionalism isn't a word I'd associate with Dr. Hartmann. Dr. Hartmann, is Peter gonna be okay? Ugh, one more person asks me about a patient today, I'm gonna scream. I mean, we saw what he did with his patient's emotions earlier, but what about when things take a more sinister turn, like in Coma Guy, where Hartmann steps well over the line? Nothing. He's gonna die. This is awesome. Yeah, I saw this guy playing in an H&M and I got his number. I genuinely can't tell if that's like a sick joke or he's confessing, and I don't know which is worse. Later in that same episode, though, Hartmann has to deliver some pretty devastating news to Lois, and he's a little heavy-handed. Quagmire's fat girlfriend who died in the Clue episode? What do all these people have in common? How do they know I like being slowly beckoned? Mrs. Griffin, I have some good news or some bad news. Okay, the start was a little weird, but he handled that pretty well. Do you love your husband? Yes! Mrs. Griffin, I have some bad news. Your husband is brain dead. I'm afraid it's time for you to make your choice. Are you telling me I should pull the plug? I'm afraid so. Also, you might be getting a call about the service you received here today. Do you feel I've earned all 10s? I don't know. I can't get anything less than a 10, so if there's a problem, you should tell me about it right now. I may have to pull the plug on my husband. You just told Lois that her husband is 100% dead, forcing the choice of whether to cut the cord or not on her, and then you drop this corporate trash? Dude, I'd say you're better than that, but you're not. Peter is the only member of the Griffin family to be put in a coma, though. Dr. Hartmann is just as bad. I'm afraid your coma's in the daughter. I mean, your daughter's in a coma. Oh my God, did you hear? Well, that's it. Boom, brain freeze. God. Oh, that one is going in the Christmas letter. An 18-year-old girl is fighting for her life, and this guy's just out here laughing. I mean, it is funny, but he's the one who should be a little more composed here. I know his mouth is what gets Hartmann in trouble 9 times out of 10, but he's made his fair share of stupid mistakes too. Like when he sparks up a cigarette and puts some music on mid-major surgery. Fair play to the guy. I didn't know he had those locks, but smoking during a surgery is a huge no-no. There's tons of flammable material around, and then you got the risk of infection by contaminating the air. Then we get down to the more serious stuff, like in New Kidney in Town, where he pulls a gun on Peter after diagnosing him with kidney failure. Dialysis treatments 3 times a week. Dialysis? Is there any other way? Yes, there is. No. Wait. I'm actually wondering if Hartmann is like one of those escaped mental patients who dress and acts like someone in authority, because what was that about? How did he even draw that fricker that quickly? What's even more wild, though, is that this isn't even the only time he's pulled out a gun in the clinic. After Hartmann performs a hair transplant on Quagmire, he comes down with a severe case of itchy trigger finger. Hair transplant officially over. Hey, he's back. You look great, Quagmire. Oh my God. One of my patients on 2 has been shot. Yeah, my boy's all grown up. He is now a criminal. How can you not be proud of him? This would be a hard charge to frame, but if this sort of stuff happened in the real world, Hartmann would be charged with gross professional misconduct and the reckless discharge of a firearm. This would see him get his first big taste of jail time, earning himself 18 years behind bars, no problem, with an astronomical set of fines damages to the tune of $1.56 million. Healthcare is an expensive business, and as you've already seen, that's a bit of a theme. The verdict is in and the doctor is out of options, money, and time. Dr. Hartmann would be extremely lucky to get anything less than 51 years behind bars with $3,410,000 in total fines. I guess you could say his bank account is on life support. Pretty impressive for a guy that had treated concussion with cough syrup, but this is just a chaos-causing quack. There are bigger and badder villains out there, like the one on screen now. So give it a click to see them get exactly what they deserve.